Welcome to the Vortex, the Time Vortex. This is Strato Time! Lord Strato here for another episode of Roll20.net Last Tower Let's Play. Are we live, Jack?
Yes, we are.
Alrighty. Again, if you guys are enjoying, leave a like, subscribe. Mr. Darna, go ahead and take it away.
Alright, so to update everybody on what happened last time, basically, Aaron's character, who is the pretty Elena Starchild, who infiltrated the spy network of the Drow Society, and has been here for the past week. To give you a little bit of update, she's been here before the other two characters, Rosmi and Zahedin. So to give you kind of a background, you've been working with the spies for such a long period of time that you haven't found a chance to lead their side, to meet up with your team until the appointed time of your arrival. So, but you did manage to find Albaz Hester before the meeting is to take place. From what Aaron, from what Starchild, the lady Starchild, found out, there's five. Well, Zahedin found out that there's five generals in charge of Transylvania, not one king. Rosmi found out that they're spending a lot of money on ships, and Elena found out that they have run across an Oriental society across the ocean, and they're learning their language and trying to make peace with them. And Albaz is a wanted man, and there's wanted posters everywhere. Don't care. He's hanging out with ducks. So we'll pick it up there. So this is when you guys set a time to meet at the location. Zahedin, where Elena, where did you set up the meeting at?
Well, I would assume they would meet up at an inn.
It would be...
And I might even ask around about, where the cattle rustlers came in at. That would probably lead me to where they are at.
You mean cow drivers? Yeah, I gotcha.
We really didn't find out if there were any inns at this place before we left. We just tried to find the paths to get here type thing.
More or less, we would have been like, we're going to find an inn, kind of over here on the other side of the bridge, and it's just going to be kind of to figure out, since somebody was supposed to arrive first before the other group, then we're just going to kind of look for them-ish.
Yeah.
So what kind of inns would have been on the other side of the bridge there?
Which side?
The side with... This side, where Transylvania's at?
The
Transylvania side? Okay.
Yeah, because...
west side.
Because we were waiting for them to cross the bridge into Transylvania with the slaves, so we would have probably been waiting in this area.
On this side of Transylvania, near the river, is called the Razor Tooth Inn.
So I'd probably be
run by a goblin. And his name is Big Mouth. So, Aaron, because you don't want to give away that you are working as a spy, probably Zahedin's the first one to arrive here. And you've been working with the spies. You've been trying to stay low so they don't find out. Yet you have friends from Fort Sister arriving.
Well, I might have to find the time to talk to the master spy about my identity. Because, I mean, if I'm working with a group who are clearly spies, they'd probably find out I'm actually half-elf. So I don't know how that would go down.
What, they find out your disguise or what?
Well, I mean, if you want to roleplay that or just say that I made it past their detections, that's okay. It's up to you.
Yeah, roll a disguise check then.
Okay.
Well, what's a 10 plus your disguise check?
It'd be a DC 13 without using spells. Which I might do because that would be useful. But let me find out how long it
What's your
lasts.
disguise kit? How much is that? Is what I'm asking. Like,
That'd be an 18.
so you only have a +8 to disguise?
Well, it's a +2. +3, and you get a +5 for using a kit.
Are you trained?
What is? Oh my freaking god!
No, I failed to put ranks in it.
Wow. Wow.
So 10 plus your disguise is 18.
Because if you at least had one rank in it, that'd be +4 more on top of that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if the spy. I'm pretty sure they're gonna break your. Are you gonna try to? Okay.
Well, that's why I'd probably confront the spy master. Because this entire time we would have my ring, but I don't want to make sure he knew.
Going to discuss it with the spy master mostly.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it's only a matter of time before I get found out.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you're not sure who the spy master is, but you know the spy network is run by the Drow, and there's a Drow lady by the name of calls herself Red Eye, and she's your contact when you arrive in Transylvania.
Okay. Well, if she's my handler, I guess that's the best way to say it, right?
Yeah.
They assign her as my handler.
Well, that's who you report to.
Right. When I get there, like here's this person.
Yeah, we can teleport to Transylvania. She's waiting for you.
Okay, so
Whether or not she saw through your disguise, I'm not sure. But I'm sure you took 10 on your disguise check.
oh yeah, I took my time, but I'm also going to tell her that I'm from a descended tree, a long line of half breeds, as you will. So my blood's been despoiled because of that.
All right. Well, when you arrive on teleport, you see her. She looks at you, and she says, "You're not a Drow." When you arrive.
Right, and that's the story I gave her. Like, I'm a half breed with a long descended tree from being a Drow type thing. So basically, I'm bluffing using my half-elf origin.
All right. Go ahead and roll that bluff check.
Woohoo! She probably sees through that.
She's got a +12.
Yeah.
She's like, mm-hmm.
What's her action? What does she want to do?
She just looks at you, pulls out a hand crossbow. You have a few moments to tell me what she. Or was hacking up a lung. Could you mute yourself, please? Thank you very much.
Alright, so now I tell her that the story backdrop of how I got here with the slaves, and then how I talked to the orc in charge, and how I'm hunting down Albraz. Would you consider that me hunting him down a bluff check? Another one, or
Are you telling the? Well, Bluff is when you're not lying. When you're lying. Technically speaking, you could say that you're not bluffing. You are technically hunting them down.
Yeah, it's technicality. So
Because you're not really saying that you're leaving out the fact that you're not going to kill him.
yeah, exactly. Basically, I say, well, as a spy, I have information I can feed you that would probably convince you that I'm actually a spy. So I ask her, this is what I have. Is there anything else that you wanted me to feed you for information-wise that I might have?
What do you tell her that you like?
Well,
what?
beyond how we got there, or beyond how I traveled with Albraz, I just tell her I think he's heading this direction. In fact, I'm sure of it. That's why the half-orc sent me here, is to find him.
So you spy that works for the elf and it works.
Yes.
She rolls her eyes and is like, the king promised the drow that we would be the only ones that are the spies. This is like, listen, child, just leave the spying to us.
I show her my ring as a sign of of trust to him. Like, look, I really need to at least hunt down Albraz, because I know he's going to be here.
She nods and is like, well, we understand. Yeah, but your shitty disguise isn't fooling anyone.
Like,
It's like,
it really depends, I say, because I could be anybody for a matter of minutes, depending on what situation calls for.
I guess your specialty isn't disguising or bluffing or anything else for that matter.
I pull out a alter self scroll, and I say, see, this is what I usually use.
She nods and like, She looks at the ring and like takes a look at it. It's completely real, and she nods and like, so Albaz has to feed the slaves. One that we took days to get set up. I was like, we were looking forward to torturing some of those slaves for information on what Poor Sister is doing. Well, if he's coming here to release more slaves, probably have to step up the security on the slaves here. I think it's best you keep up the guise of being your drow. But your disguise is horrible. She pulls out a disguise, had a disguise for you, and gives it to you.
Okay, I'll use the hat of disguise.
Alright, put that on your character sheet.
Okay.
She tells you to change your identity from what it was before. Your name is now Red Fang.
Red Fang? Okay.
Yep, Red Fang. And so basically, you were working with her. She keeps you under her wing to keep an eye on you and see if you're like, and the amount of work that you do, she's pretty impressed with. So that's why you're able to run around and find Albaz and give him the ring and all that fun stuff. So let's go back to getting the party back together. So, all right. So, Eden, you've been searching the library, getting everything situated.
Yep.
No information has been trickled down yet about anything happening to the slaves.
If the only other thing I might have tried to do while waiting is seeing if the the group was having a meeting, and seeing if I could sit down on the meeting and observe
What group?
the leaders, the 5 leaders or something like that. The leader of the orcs, the trolls, so on and so forth.
It's a closed meeting. It's not like it's not like a library. When you go to Washington D.C. and watch the Congress meet, it's open session. They meet behind closed doors, and so, but their doctrines are brought out through town choirs and stuff like that.
Yep.
I
I wasn't sure if certain nobles or whatever were allowed to sit in and observe, basically.
No, nobody. They basically, to keep this disguise as that there's only one person in charge kind of thing. That you have a solitary meeting, and the orc is the one that transmits
The messages?
the messages, or a representative of the orc. You do know from the information that you heard that the orc king is not in Transylvania right now, for some reason. You do not know why. But you are at the Red Fang Inn. Fast shows up, and dressed up as a sailor. You just finished some dock work there, Rasmi. You have one of the rooms in the back, like meeting room,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure you.
I'd have it on reserve. I'd probably be hanging out in the front, though, for the most part.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you recognize your friend. You recognize Zaidan and Rasmi sitting at the table, but they're just looking off, staring at the door, but they don't recognize you.
Well, I'm sure the spy master would have had something for me to do. What's my goal while I'm in town, while I'm waiting for Albraz?
Albaz is already here.
No,
You already met him in the docks and gave him the race.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly waiting for Albaz.
yeah.
Did you bring Albaz with you? Yeah. Albaz, are you there with Aaron's character Invisible? So people don't recognize you?
Well, yeah, I will probably be that.
Are you disguised or invisible?
Well, I'm both disguised and invisible. Actually, no, I'm not invisible. Not yet. Just disguised.
Just disguised? Okay.
Yeah.
So Zahid, you see Albaz walking in with a much prettier looking drow.
I take it you're walking over to the table?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm
that
like,
would be-
I'm kind of doing the nonchalant. It's like, I recognize Albaz, but I'm waiting for him to get closer before I say anything.
I just look annoyed.
As you
walk along.
As you get close to the tower, like, find yourself a new girlfriend?
No.
Jack, I give you the wink and the nod of a fellow Star Child.
Ah. We have a room in the back.
Yes, please. Well, for 2 gentlemen, I think I'm going to raise my price.
I tell Big Mouth that it's like we're going to use the room now if it's available.
It's like, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. You've been a big help there, Big Mouth.
like, yeah, all right, whatever. But if you wanted a bedroom, I mean, it's just an office.
We don't need a bedroom,
Like-
just an office.
I was like, all right, just clean up. I was like, all right, you paid for it.
Don't worry, don't worry.
All you need is a desk anyway.
Rouse me.
What?
Get in the room.
Just big mouths and stuff. No, shakes his head. As you enter the room.
I make sure the windows are closed and all that fun stuff.
There's no windows in this room, but you know it's. But it's not. The walls aren't soundproof either.
I take my head of disguise off, revealing who I am, and I start writing on a piece of paper.
Right.
What do you write down on the piece of paper?
I write down how Albraz freed the slaves and now has a target on his back for doing that. And then I also write how I somehow infiltrated in the spy network here in town and learned about the Oriental trade. And I toss a piece of paper to you, Jack, because you seem to be the leader of the group. And you're my, family member. I trust you.
I will read over the note. I burst out laughing. And then I say, haha, seems like you had a fun trip, didn't you?
I hate this guy.
Yes.
If it wasn't because you are now, that we really need you now, you have been spiked on the spot.
I grab you and I pull you close, Albaz, and I look at you in the face and I say, I did the majority of that as a disguise. You're supposed to be making some banter that's funny and silly at the same time we're having this serious conversation.
Ooh, stop touching me. I pretend to slap someone's hand as I say that.
Now's not the time for that. We're just meeting to have a good, friendly conversation, remember?
Mm-hmm.
As I
I'm
write
gonna
that.
assume that you're having your real conversation by paper. So.
Yeah, by paper, that's what the real conversation is going to be.
All right, so go ahead and converse as though you're having a conversation by paper.
Basically, I write down what happened with, me and Rousme on the trail, how we found, the village with, that was, affected by famine, how that after that I became a noble of the land.
Like what?
Well, he was a noble because he was knighted.
I was knighted.
You're not a noble yet. You were knighted.
Became a knight.
guess,
I got the sword with the one shrunken head on it.
I guess I'm not the only one having fun.
Of course not.
I found this. I got something really cool while I was there that I paid for. I got to find this lady.
Pulling out the poster of Dulene.
Oh yeah.
Zahid, you recognize that. You've met her before.
Oh, the Miss Dulene. I saw her at one of the parties for the Queen.
Yes. Well, the orcs of this land seem to have interest in her. So somebody might want to warn her.
You definitely have to pass that along then.
Aaron, yeah. And I'm assuming, Aaron, you wrote down that Albaz was blamed for spreading the famine in the city.
Yes, I do.
Another burst of laughter outside the thing. Just as part of the other random stuff. Upon seeing that. I'm sure I'm getting glared at by Albaz for sure.
Exactly.
It's like I look at him and go, look, you're going to turn into a paladin any day now. Freeing slaves, killing evil people.
I make sure I write down that I used him as a diversion to get myself into the spy network. And unfortunately, he's going to probably remain a diversion until we're done with the mission.
Understandable.
And Razmi, do you let him know about the whole situation at the docks?
Oh yeah, I'll let him know how this basically somebody is really bankrolling all this with very expensive and beautiful ships that are very rare and hard to come across with materials.
Alright.
Well, that kind of makes sense with their dealings with the Orientals.
Possibly.
Alright.
So I guess what's our next plan of action is what we need to figure out at this point. Do we head back and just report in, or do we continue to...
Well, I say we have a good chance of sabotage with the information we have. Because clearly, we can't let our enemies have a navy.
Yeah, Razmi, you know they discard those shit pretty well, so.
It's, that'll be harder than you think.
So we're gonna have to... So... Do you mention anything about coming in through the forest as being a good alternative?
Just as an escape route.
Just an escape route.
Wait. Didn't I also have one of the others that on the spies that infiltrated Transylvania with me? Okay, what was her name again?
What?
Don't you remember at the docks? I met one of the other spies.
Oh, he met somebody from Port Sister.
Oh,
Yep. Brianna.
Brianna, yes.
Yeah, but you.
She wanted to meet the others as well.
Yeah, you did not bring her to this meeting for some reason, I guess.
No, I bring her with me because I said I would bring her with me last time.
I forgot about that.
I think we all forgot about that.
Yeah, I just remembered.
We'll just say she was busy and she would have to meet up with us later then.
Yeah. You hear a knock at the door, and then okay.
Yes.
The door opens. You see Brianna Takoi, and then walk in, and then close the door behind her. She's dressed like a common peasant, not in her finery.
Oh, another lady to help me out with these gentlemen over here.
She just looks. She crooks her eyeballs and nods. Like, I'll let the professionals do that kind of work. I'm just here to watch. She sits down, grabs the paper, and she says that she went underneath the ocean, and she says that there's lots of ships under the ocean that are moored in the docks. That they're just hooked up to some of the underground docks under in the cities under the plateaus, what they call it. She estimates their navy to be probably 3 to 4 times the size of Fort Sisters. I can probably launch a naval attack and just bombard the crap out of Fort Sister. Unfortunately, though, they would have to put the coup de grace by launching an army, and that's where the problem lies. But if they're strong, the Navy's strong enough, they can land their troops. And if you go by where Fort Sister map that she showed you, they're. If I was them, she's like, I would land my troops. You see the arrow, Fort Sister? She says, I would land my troops here. If, with their navy, the size of their navy, I would land my troops here and then just march across. And if I had that big of a navy, I'd probably have troops land here, like troops land here, and troops land over here. And a pincer attack, and just sit there and bombard the city from the outside.
So clearly, we need to sabotage something. Armory, the ships, barracks, anything, sabotage, and then do whatever the kind of damage we can.
Yeah, the problem is the sabotage is not going to last long enough for it to do anything for us, though. We're not launching an attack yet.
No, but let's just say the sabotage might buy us some necessary time. I mean, yes, we can't stop the machine of war from going, but, I mean, a little bit of here and there. I mean, we're only 5 people, can slow down the army so much.
Like, the only way to do anything good would be to literally almost get the whole plateau to fall in.
That's... what do you mean the plateau?
No, he was talking about the ceiling fall on top of the boats underneath it.
As far as you know, that's been there for hundreds of years. You'd have to have
but that's
massive explosion.
Yeah,
Like
That's the
earthquake.
only way to sabotage them strongly enough to do any damage.
Yeah, she's like, yes, earthquake or something. Getting the cleric close enough where he could cast it would be the problem. Yeah, I know. I mean, they have catapults and stuff on top.
Well, okay, let's talk about supply routes, because they're going to clearly need a bunch of supplies for their trip. Do we know how far along are they with supplying their ships for the voyage?
That's where I was thinking of doing. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe you need to meet these Oriental people. As a representative of the Koi family, I can speak for Fort Sister. And we'll see whether they're allies or they're just being told one side and not the other. If we can sneak on the ship that's heading to do trade with the Orientals and find out where they are at, and send our own ships to talk to them, probably be a good idea.
That's definitely a good idea. Do we have any way to relay what information we have found back to Fort Sister?
She says, I do have somebody in, there is a Star Child in Transylvania already that's been trying to relay, but actually, she's like, probably not a way to, we'd have to, yeah, that's a problem.
I look at Albaz. We're probably going to have to send Albaz with with the information back to Fort Sister then.
Yeah, but then we're minus Albaz.
We don't have much of a choice if we don't have any other means.
Hmm. Yeah, looks down. It's like you can tell she's like does not want Albaz to be the representative of Fort Sister. Like he's like,
No, I'm not. I want to send. It's like I would be sending him back to Fort Sister to
Yeah,
basically give
there-
all the information to his dad.
yeah. Then that means he's not going to be part of the campaign over to the Oriental side. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
I know. I understand. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's why I was trying to find if we had an alternate way to send information there.
I could
Because
just
he's the only one that can
send my
travel.
dragon.
Other than me, he's the fastest one that can travel with the dragon.
But he could just send his dragon.
Yeah, or you could send your dragon.
I should send my dragon. That'd probably be a better bet.
Yeah.
Dragons are intelligent. They speak.
You can send both your dragons. You're not going to need on your trips.
I'm gonna keep my dragon around.
I'll send mine.
Besides, he's already in town. I took her within after all.
We're going to be crossing the ocean.
I'm gonna have to go
Right,
for a
so,
leisurely stroll.
Let's talk about when are we looking to get a boat to the Oriental. What's our time frame look like?
Let's see what we're gonna need to get either on or.
Roll me, Razmi, roll me 2d4. Roll me, please.
Alright.
Five.
5 days from now. So the ships that are going to the Oriental location are going to be leaving in 5 days, is what Razmi tells you.
It should be enough time.
Okay, so let's think about what. Do we want to do anything in those 5 days to hamper their production of some sort? Like we could hit their armory, or I mean, I don't want to hit their docks because obviously we have to use
Well,
ships.
I think we should do, my opinion, is we should find out what the best sabotage locations are, so when we do attack Transylvania, we have good points of attack.
Oh, a scouting mission. Got it.
That's what we're
Yeah.
here for originally.
Yeah. Our original mission was to scout what are the weaknesses. From
Okay.
what I can see from the walls, they must be throwing all their eggs in the Oriental basket. As I don't see the people on the walls having very good tools to work with.
Everything's on ships.
Yeah. It could be. They could be seeing the cloud of war, and they could just be like bugging out. To be honest with you, or finding an ally. We don't know.
That's why we need to talk to these Orientals.
Yeah.
In my time with the spy group, did I notice anything that they were concerned with or anything like that that I can partake or know of?
I mean, I don't understand.
Is there any
Well-
language we might need to learn for these Orientals?
No, that's
to help
Yeah,
you
yeah.
out, Leo. I'm looking for like where they. I'm a member of that spy group. They might be looking to like what's the biggest thing we have to look out for? Like which side of the Transylvania type thing. Does that make more sense?
Oh.
Because I know they were pretty concerned with learning the language, but other than that, I mean,
Yeah, you know that attack from this side of the map? I mean, go back to Transylvania.
If we were to come down from the north?
Well, no, not from the north, but from... If you come this way from the desert, if your Lomps attacked this way towards Transylvania, they would not be prepared for it.
And the entrance Elbras came in is kind of on that southern side, right? That corner
Yeah,
there.
you said this is the weakest. This is the weakest gate that they have. Is
So-
the one where Albaz entered in, because that gate is the entire time you've been here has never been closed.
Okay,
Because there's a desert on this side. There's the desert. They're using the desert as like a basically a natural
Wall.
defense. Because they're thinking that no army would go through the desert to attack from this side. But if the elves were to come down and follow this savannah here this way, and then attack this direction,
Do some serious
Okay.
damage.
the problem is they would probably be spotted from the river scouts around this area. Because there's orcs all along this river, orc camps all along this area. So not to be spotted coming down this direction, they would have to go through the desert, not be spotted.
Yeah, they'd have to come almost straight down and travel
Well,
this
that-
way.
That's the kind of information we need, though. So that's what I'll pass off to the dragon, I guess.
I was going to say, start writing your reports, because that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 5 days, is heading over to an area where I can call my dragon and send him out.
I could see if I can get signed to one of the ships going to go meet these people.
That's a good idea. Make sure you get us through a come along type thing.
Yeah, you can do that, and then Zahedin and Starchild, you said you wanted to do some sabotage. I think sabotaging the blacksmithing, because I don't think they're using a lot of their resources on weapons and armor. I think sabotaging the dry dock would probably be the best course of action. Maybe putting fire there.
Yeah, but aren't we going to be using those boats? If we set up fire, then do you think they delay their leaving from being 5 days or longer, or?
Well, the ship's already been built. The dry dock is used to build ships.
Right, that's what I'm. But they might stay in the port just in case type thing, or they might. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
I mean, just maybe. I mean, I don't see a problem hitting it, but maybe we hitting more of their merchant areas right off the dry docks.
Well, if you can set something up to, go off at some random point, like if somebody does something and it, ignites the dry docks to make it look like an accident, would probably be the better bet. And you could that way it would be less likely to get pointed at us, and it keeps them from building additional boats and putting them in the water, thus
Okay.
stalling their efforts.
All right, let's. I'll at least scout the dry docks. If I can't sabotage it, I'll know how to sabotage it for later type thing.
Okay, that's
Exactly.
fine.
I'm assuming there's like a lumber mill, a woodworking station nearby.
I
Gotta
mean,
be.
you could find a forge with like a hot iron and just knock the hot iron over and see if that does anything, because then it's just like, well, somebody
yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, Razmi tells you the dry docks are on this side of the river.
Okay. I'll go scout out. I'll go scout it out. So we all have our missions, and I'll write my report, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I'll be able
So
to
are you
take.
going to be going? So Albaz, are you going to go with your dragon, or are you going to just send your dragon by yourself? Who's sending the dragon?
I'm sending my dragon. Zahedin
Are you
sending
going to go with
his.
the dragon?
I'm not sending my dragon.
No, I'm just gonna send my dragon to go meet up with, Lady Starchild, so that she can relay the information from there.
Are you going to let it have the ring of invisibility, or is it going to try to stealth?
The dragon?
No. I'm asking you: is the dragon trying to stealth away, or is it going to fly away, or how is it going to get there?
Well, I was going, as I said, because I have 5 days and I technically have a horse right now, I was going to ride across the bridge, and then I was going to try to go into the forest a little ways, out, call the dragon in, hopefully. Far enough out where nobody's really
No,
going to see it.
with you. The dragon's with
My dragon's with me? I know
Yeah.
Alboz's dragon is with him,
you. Oh, your dragon is there too.
because I hadn't called my dragon the entire time, as far as I knew.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
That's
Okay.
why I'm going to have to head out and call my dragon. This was like, I'm going to go call my dragon, give him the notes, and tell him what I need him to do. And then I
Alright.
was going to come back to the meeting point so that we could then go get on the boats. Because it's going to take me almost a 5-day round trip just to do that.
Yeah, because it's like,
I mean, luckily I'm on a horse, so I've got, a little bit of advantage. I mean, I figured I would grab, my sister's star child, take her across the bridge, drop her off, so that she can go scouting over here, and then I would just continue out.
Yep, that's a good idea.
alright.
So I would just go out, do a safe enough distance, call my dragon, give him the notes, and tell him to go, deliver it, because then they can just, swoop in, get the stuff, take back off, and leave without really coming in and setting off any alarms. Alright guys, we're going to hold this episode here, and again, if you guys are enjoying, leave a like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode. As for now, this is Strato Time, or Strato, signing out.